Hello and welcome back to the Introvert Circus. I'm sassafras and I'm here with Sirius, and we are making a follow-up video to a video that we made a couple of months ago, and that is our honest thoughts and opinions about the AKC's new pilot program for rally novice and intermediate for earning rally titles. Are you done? Hi. She's like, I'm not gonna sit there this whole time. And I wanted to do a follow-up video. I did a honest thoughts and opinions reactions to earning our novice title. I will link that in the description box below. And we earned our intermediate title in July, but I had realized I hadn't made a updated video about what that process was like. And I'd gotten some questions here on YouTube and in our Facebook training group, which the link to that is always below. It's Tricks in the City, same name as my book. And I just wanted to answer those questions here. So I have those written down. Obviously, as a disclaimer, this is just my experience as a trainer, as a competitor. I am not speaking in any kind of official capacity. I'm just talking about what it was like for me and my dog Sirius, what I like about the program, what our experience was like. And I just wanted to include that disclaimer. I do write for the American Kennel Club, and I'm a CGC evaluator, but I am not in any way speaking on behalf of the AKC. I'm just speaking as a competitor. So for us, this was perfect. So we earned our intermediate title in July, like I said, and had a really great time doing it. We did it, I think, within the first few weeks that they had announced the expansion to include intermediate. And I just want to go through sort of some questions. So I'd gotten like, what are the pros and cons was a question. And so for us, there were no cons to doing it. We were able to complete the process really easily. I would say my biggest piece of advice this relates is read the rules, read all the instructions, both for rally as a whole, as a sport, especially if you've not competed in rally before, but also for the virtual piece, and follow those instructions. Make sure that you put your camera, phone, whatever you're recording on, where they tell you to on the course map. It's in the course map where they want your recording. Record there. Record at the resolution they want. Think about lighting. They have so many more. The AKC Rally Facebook group has included a bunch of official sort of like Q&A and tips from the AKC. Check that out, follow those instructions. They need to see your dog, they need to see you, they need to see, be able to see the leash the whole time. They have instructions to think about things with lighting. All of that's really important. So pay attention to that. And follow make sure that you're following the rules. I think that's where I've seen the most people get sort of hung up or get confused, is they just didn't know the rules. So follow those. And then I would say they're not in this to trick anybody. It really is pretty straightforward. Upload the video to your YouTube and then share that appropriately with the AKC when you turn in your title. I think the only real cons in it are, if you're somebody who's very competitive, then there's no placements. You're competing, with your dog against yourself and your ability to qualify or not qualify. You're not competing against other teams. That's great for me. I am so not competitive. I've talked about this before. I got started in dog sports well over 20 years ago, and I was super competitive as a teenager. I competed in agility. I loved it. I wanted to spend all my free time at dog shows, and that's just not where I'm at anymore in my life. And so this was a really great opportunity for me. I don't care about placements, but if you do, then you might want to wait for the pandemic to end until you can safely go to dog shows. I'm really grateful that the opportunity presented itself to allow that to be something we could do from home. The pilot program does now end December 31st. So if you want to do this with your dog, obviously pay attention to that as well. Make sure that you get your runs submitted before that deadline, because we don't know if the program will be extended. I would love to see it extended. Like, from my YouTube to the AKC's ears, I think the program is absolutely fantastic for so many reasons, for so many dogs, for people who are geographically isolated, for dogs who are reactive or who are uncomfortable in a show setting, for people who are reactive or uncomfortable in a show setting for whatever reason, for people like me who don't drive. There's so many reasons that this is just a great program. In terms of space, I got questions like, how much space do you really, really need? And the answer is, it depends on you and your dog. It depends on what kind of spaces you're comfortable training in. We lived and trained in New York City. So we were used to training in very tight, small spaces. I now live in Oregon, and I have a decent sized backyard, but only a smallish part of my backyard is really set up in a way without trees that worked for rally. We had no problem using that space for our titles. I had no complaints from our judges about the space that I had to use. And that's with a very large dog and not a huge space. So it really depends on you and your dog. I'm going to put in some video here of our space that we have, just so you can get a sense of that. So this is the space in my yard that I used. There's my dog peeing, for both our novice and intermediate rally runs. And I used this space because it doesn't have trees in it. My front yard is, hi baby, smaller. So this spot was really what worked best. I'd moved the hammocks down that way, so I had all the way back to that fence line. And then, but this is it. It's not a giant spot, but it worked really well for us. Obviously, that's going to depend on you, your comfort, your dog, all that stuff. But I really like to point out that they made this program incredibly accessible. The only space constraints to it were about the spacing, between, what are you eating? Oh, grass. Between, oh, sticks. Thank you. Drop, trade. I know, we like to do trades. You can't eat sticks, but you can eat treats. They only specified space between 6 and 8 feet between each of the cones. You'll notice if you go back on our channel and look at our videos that we didn't probably have quite that spacing on novice. They only added that rule between when we did our novice runs and when we did intermediate. But I like to just point out what this space looked like, because I saw a lot of, questions and concerns from people saying, I don't have a huge yard. My yard isn't, big enough. And obviously it's going to depend on your dog. We lived and trained in New York City for a long time. So we're used to working in small spaces, and this worked. What are you doing? Good girl. This worked well for us. So if you have any sort of yard space, you might be able to fit it in, especially if it's a spot that your dogs are already used to training in. You don't need a huge amount of space to create your, ring. So the next question I got was, how did you choose a course? So for the intermediate program, similar to the novice program, there are 5 courses that you can pick between. Honestly, I think the 5 courses are really comparable. They're very, very similar, but you have 5 options and you need 3 qualifying, 3. I'm like, how many fingers do I have? You need 3 qualifying runs in order to earn your intermediate title with your dog. So you can look at those courses, and I got a lot of questions about how do you pick which course? So for me, again, I do think they're all really comparable. When I was doing it, I looked at which courses would physically fit the best in the space that I had. I had a space that was longer than it was wide, and it was not particularly big. So I was looking for courses that I could fit into that space, and those were the 3 that we did. And I have links to those. Those are up on my channel. You can check out what we did. We did 3 runs, qualified in all 3. I also did look at which courses had skills in them that Sirius really, really loves. So she loves turns and twists. And again, all 5 really did have those skills in them. But I picked courses that fit the space first and foremost. And then secondly, just because it's an option, I did pick courses. Also, I thought about which courses were going to be the most fun for my dog. She could do all the skills, through, the advanced levels. That's part of how I train. I train for signs higher than we're going to be competing. And so we were training in those signs before we ever did novice. But I do like to think about what's going to be fun for my dog. But the first consideration was what was going to fit this. Qualified in all 3 of the courses that we ran. Our first score was 93. Our second score was a score of 90. And our third score was a score of 86. And I was thrilled with all 3 of those scores. When we did our novice rally title, are you gonna really play with that toy right now? Yes. For our novice rally title, we had 3 qualifying scores of 95 points. I know. Do you want your Dunkin' cup? Get it. Hi. Can we go take it over there? We had 3 qualifying scores of 95 for novice, but I felt great about our intermediate scores. This is, not a sport that we are super serious about. We just have fun. And I know there was some criticism with the program from people who, had critiques about it and were saying that people were just going to run the courses again and again and again in order to get great scores. And are there people out there doing that? I mean, I'm sure that there are, but I don't think the vast majority of people are doing that. I know I certainly didn't do that. Sirius does not have the attention span for that. Rally is a sport that she definitely plays because I love rally, or I think rally is fun. She really, really likes components of rally, but she does not have like the drive or interest in running course after course after course of rally. So that is not at all what we did. We set the course, I set the course, we ran the course, videoed, and those were our runs, and I feel fantastic about those scores. So I would really encourage you, don't stress. Those were the scores I picked. Again, the courses that fit best in the space that I had. I believe those were courses 2, 3, and 5. The videos are again on the channel, and I'll link them below if you want to see our runs. I felt like the scoring was super accurate, super fair, and I was really thrilled with the qualifying scores that we had. So in terms of signs and like sort of logistics and setup, again, follow the letter of the AKC's instructions. They are very flexible, very easy. You do not have to spend tons and tons of money in order to compete and be successful in the virtual program. So what I did, I showed this in my novice video. For novice, I used cardstock and kitchen skewers to create signs that I stuck in my yard. And I just drew the signs I needed on them. For novice, I used sticky notes to put the numbers, for the course numbers on them when I set the course. And then when it came time to do intermediate, the signs are basically the same, but I was lazy. And instead of going through and finding the signs and re-sticky noting them and the sticky notes came off, what I did was I created little covers out of just printer paper, and I wrote the course, the number for the sign on it when I wrote the course, and I just did it for each of the 3 courses. We were in the week that they announced that that they had expanded the program to include intermediate. We were in kind of a lull between hot weather, and so I recorded all 3 runs that we needed for her title in like a week. And so I created signs quickly for that, and it worked really well. All I did was just pop the little cover over each sign. When I put them in the ground, I paper clipped all the signs to the course maps, and then I had them ready to go for like early mornings when it was cool enough, set the course and recorded. So this was free for me because I happen to have, printer paper, cardstock, and kitchen skewers at my house, but you do not need to spend lots of money on this. You can DIY it and make it yourself. I loved how these turned out. They worked really, really well. Would do again. I've had these sitting in my closet waiting to make this video. And then for cones, these are the cones that I use. You can use anything AKC is saying. You can use toilet plungers, bottles, whatever you have. These are little playground cones that I had from Target dollar bins for years. I have, I think, like 8 or 9 of them. They're super great. They come in packs of like 4 for $1. They're easy to find in the spring and summer and like kids outdoor play sections. I believe you can find them on Amazon, but like dollar stores, dollar sections of like Target and like similar big box retailers are the way to go for these little cones. They work super, super well. And yeah, that's what I used for our equipment. And then, beyond that, the regular AKC rules about rally apply. Your dog needs to be on leash. They need to be on a flat collar. Ooh, that is one thing. nobody asked me this question, but I've seen it come up a lot. And so I always like to remind people, make sure to have a different collar for rally than you use in day-to-day life if you have tags, and you probably do and should have tags on your dog's collar, on their collar, because you cannot have tags on a dog's collar. And I've seen beautiful runs get thrown out because dogs had collars with tags on. So you need to have a different collar or take the tags off of your dog's collar. I'm way too lazy for that. So I just have a different flat collar that I take her regular collar off, put that collar on, attach the leash, and go. So definitely make sure you do that. Also, if you did novice based on the rules that were initially in place by the AKC for novice, make sure you double check, because some rules did change between like May, even in May and July, when I did novice in May, and when we did intermediate, when they announced it in July. You now need to have a few seconds, I think it's 5 seconds before the run and 10 seconds after, or vice versa. Check the AKC regulations. You need a few seconds before you start, like crossing the start line, and a few seconds after crossing the finish line. They want to see that your dog is under control. They want to see that your dog is with you. They want to make sure that you don't start the run not recording. I guess that was an issue. I think I saw that in one of the FAQs. So follow those rules and regulations. I think those were the main questions that I had from people about what our experience was like. And then about ribbons, prizes. So let me show you that. So one of the questions that I got was, what do you get? What does AKC send? What don't they send to you in terms of recognition? So what you will get is a certificate in the mail. This is her intermediate title certificate that came. We also had a novice certificate. I only hang the most advanced certificate, so the novice one is actually behind this one in the frame, so I know where it is. But the AKC will send you the official certificate, title certificate, after you earn your title, which takes 3 qualifying runs. They do not send ribbons, and they don't sell ribbons. So AKC does sell some individual ribbons you can purchase. This is a Canine Good Citizen ribbon that they sell, a nice rosette. They also sell nice rosettes for the trick title. So here's her Elite Performer ribbon and her Performer ribbon, which I purchased from AKC. I like them. I would happily have paid AKC for rally ribbons. If you're watching, you could probably make a lot of money from a lot of us on rally ribbons, but they're not selling them. I clarified that. So with them. So at that point, I decided to order my own. If you saw our novice video, you probably already saw our ribbons. These were, I ordered from Hodges Badge Company. There's a lot of different options out there. I wanted to be a little fancy and I wanted some custom stuff. So I ordered 3 qualifying ribbons for novice rally. And then I ordered this beautiful, vibrant neon rosette with a Newfoundland for Sirius's novice rally title. So for her intermediate title, these are the ones you haven't seen yet. I ordered these qualifying run ribbons in pink and lavender because I thought they were pretty. So 2 there, there's 1 down here. So the 3 qualifying runs for her title. And then I ordered this rosette for her intermediate title. Again, just to be fancy, just to be extra, because I wanted to and I could. So this is the rosette I ordered. There's a lot of different options out there, but I'm a big fan of order the ribbons. They make me really happy. I fully support anyone getting whatever custom ribbons you want. I hope this video was useful. Again, this was just our experience with it. I like rally. Rally's really fun. If you follow our videos, have seen Sirius and I have played around training in rally since she was about 6 months old, but we're not serious about it. She's serious, that's her name. But I just like to have fun with sports. We play around with it. This was a great opportunity for us to get both her novice and intermediate titles. I don't have any plans to continue on with rally. A lot of people do, and I think that this program has been an amazing introduction to dog sports and to rally for people who intend to continue in the sport. If AKC extends the program and allows us to earn future titles virtually, will we do it? Maybe. Maybe. I'm cautious about it. I don't want to jump her 16 inches, which would be her height in rally. She's cleared by her surgeon and her PT vet to do that. It's not a lot of jumping. It's not like agility where it would be like tons and tons of jumping. But she has had both of her knees reconstructed. If they announced that that program happened soon, we might do it because she's young. She's going to be 4 in December, but as a giant breed, I'm thoughtful about both age and joint impact and all of those things. So it could happen. We might do it. I don't have big plans to do it. Again, for us, it'll be about if the virtual program continues, but I know a lot of people have been really excited about jumpstarting in this program and then getting out to shows. And I think that is absolutely fantastic. So I'm so excited about it. I hope this video was helpful. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. We're posting dog training, dog adventure, dog content every day in October for Vlogtober, and then always posting regular content throughout the year. If you have video suggestions, please let me know in the comments, or if you have other questions I didn't answer about our experience with the virtual rally program, please leave those in the comments as well, and I will get to them. I would love to answer them for you. I hope you and your dogs are having a fantastic day, and we will see you real soon. Bye-bye.